if you're the Mavericks, do you say, look, we just can't force our two main guys, especially Porzingis, to play in close to 16 games and 26 games if we expect for him to be anything close to 100% for playoffs? Like, do you push it to try to get to the 6th seed, or do you just say, look, we are going to be in the 7 through 10 matchup and we want to have as healthy a team as possible?
Well, I think they're better than a 7. I think they're definitely 6. To me, they're better than Portland. Lillard has been playing out of his mind, but Portland's been struggling. Did they win last night, by the way?
They did not.
Portland? So now they've lost 6 of 8. Portland, I think, has lost 6 of 8. So thank God, because from a Mavericks perspective, because that keeps them, certainly within reach. And, I just think that, unless it's my imagination, I thought Porzingis and Doncic played so well down the stretch last year, bubble basketball, and they seem to connect. And that has just not really been the feel. I mean, the numbers are good for Porzingis, but I don't get the feel like he and Doncic are yet on the same page, and I can't figure out why. Is it because they're limiting him minutes? Is it he doesn't play the back-to-back? I can't. I know he was injured. I know the other things have certainly caused disruption and abbreviation, but I'm just surprised that those two have not been able to become more of they've got 2 superstars, 2 young kids to build around, and the organization has always wanted that second scorer, and I can't figure out why this is not working. But I'm not seen them this year except once in Philadelphia, and that's been it. So, I would like to think in these last 16 games that they can somehow, even if it's just between the two of them, and they bring their basketball minds together, and they figure out we're only as good, the team is only as good as the two of us are together. And that kind of should be the motto. We know they've got guys off the bench. We know that when everybody is healthy around them, there probably are enough contributors. But I just think that this is an opportunity that you just can't let escape. And it's almost, whether it's force-fed or whatever, I mean, these two guys have got to get on the same page. And if they would develop that cohesion, and even if it's a 2-man game, every time they come down the court, I think that's going to serve the team well. But, again, I'm looking from outside. I'm not there at every practice. I don't watch every dribble like Mark or Chuck or any of these other guys that are doing the games. So maybe I'm out of bounds here, but it just, from afar, that's what it seems like has to be the answer. As you are down to, as you said, 16 games in less than a month.
Kevin, I'm really happy that you said that, because we have a theory running here. We're big on body language, like as fans and as hosts here, we see these guys a lot, and we aren't seeing guys that high-five each other after each, really good moment, or are supportive of each other when something's going on. We don't see that. And over the next couple of days, hopefully you can observe it and ask around about this, because we're seeing two guys that don't look like they're friends on the court, or don't look like they like each other. Is that us, reading into it too much? And have you, in all of your years, have you seen a duo be able to dominate on the court or be what they should be whenever they don't necessarily get along or like each other?
Well, you know what I would do? Shaq and Kobe had this, but then they won all those championships.
Yeah.
And they coexisted. And eventually, of course, I'm not saying that these two kids are like Shaq and Kobe, but the framework is there to have a semblance of that in a Mavericks version of that. And I would, I know this is weird, but you know what? This is a weird year, so why not be weird? I'd call Phil Jackson. And I talked to Phil Jackson. I think they might need like an arbitrator if there is an issue. I'm not saying there is. I don't know that there is, and probably not. I think both kids are very likable. I've been in a situation where there have been conversations, not me, but in a group with them. And I know they're both likable kids. I just think that sometimes you might need perspective in saying, I don't know that Pippen and Jordan were great friends. I don't know that Shaq and Kobe were great friends. You can go right on down the list of Oscar and Kareem or Lou Alcindor when they were with Milwaukee. I don't know. But I think winners always push that crap aside, and they find a way to make it work if, every indication points to, yep, this is the combination. Here's your second score that they lack sometimes with Dirk, and other teams lack with the signature player, with Antetokounmpo up in Milwaukee. I mean, like, whoever you want to pick. Now, he's got Middleton. I don't know if they're friends, but they've worked together, and now they've got, they've got some help around them, and they've got a guard that they like, and they feel like now they've kind of figured out that composition. I don't think it's any. I mean, maybe it's not the best talent on Dallas, but it's certainly a number 6 seed talent, I think. I mean, I just think they've got, and you've got, an MVP caliber guy in Doncic, a rising superstar, and you've got Porzingis, who is filling the statistical categories, but it just seems like these guys should be more on the same page. Like, it's, and again, I'm talking from, my lens is big looking at all the teams in the league, and
right.
I'm not reading everyday stories and watching this team every day. But I would think that, you know what, and let's be creative here. Maybe they have reached out to Phil Jackson. How did you broker a relationship with Kobe and Shaq, or talk to Don Nelson and see, what did you do when you had, a couple of rival, whoever they may have been along his path? I think that, kind of Golden State's working with this too, because they've got this Wiseman who's out now with the knee, but like they think he's pretty good, but there had to be some brokering between Steph and Clay and Draymond and Kevin Durant. I mean, like, there had to be some divvying up here. And egos have got to sometimes be tempered and shoved to the side. I just think there's got to be a solution. And what better time to find it than right now? And let's have that momentum carry us into the playoffs and get that 6th seed and say to that godforsaken, avoidable 7 through 10, which no team wants to be on unless they're a fringe team. But Dallas is not a fringe team. I mean, they've been playing like it recently, especially at home. But when you think of them, you don't think of them as fringe. You think of them as signature players, young players, great coach, with enough parts around them to make it go. And I just find it frustrating, I think.